Hey everybody, welcome back to In the Round podcast. My name is Jen and this is my podcast about knitting yarn in the knitting community. So if this is your first time seeing me, welcome. This is episode 2. There's actually one episode that's more of an introduction about me and a little haul of some supplies I recently got at a yarn convention. So I'd love if you can check that out and get to know me a little bit more. If this is your second episode with me, thank you so much for spending time with me and getting to know me, and I appreciate all the great feedback I got from episode 1, as well as the huge welcome into the podcast community. So this episode I hope is not as long as the first one, but I have been gone a little bit of time, so I wanted to kind of just come back, refresh you guys on what I've been working on, and I got some questions about my needles. I use mostly the Knitter's Pride needles, and some people wanted to kind of see what that looked like and the options there, so I wanted to show you guys that. But it has been a while, so it's been about a month and a half. I apologize, but we had a lot of sickness in the house. My son got norovirus, I think twice, and then my husband and I both got it at separate times, thank goodness, and then I got strep throat recently, so we're all, you know, completely virus bugged up. But we're good now. Everyone's healthy. I scrubbed the whole entire house clean this weekend, so hopefully all set. But that does mean I got a lot of knitting time in. So hopefully I've got some stuff that's fun for you guys to see. So first I wanted to start with an older project of mine, an older finished project, which is actually the baby blanket that I made my son. So I do have a 2-year-old son. And although we always wanted children, I was told I couldn't have children naturally. So I hate to say that my son was a surprise, because usually when people say surprise, it's not, you know, oh, it was a surprise baby. He was completely wanted, but unfortunately felt that, you know, we're told we couldn't have him, at least not naturally without a lot of support and help. But lo and behold, naturally he just happened to surprise us, so he is completely a joyful surprise. But I wanted to knit something when I was pregnant with my baby, and didn't know what it was yet, but I wanted to have something knitted, and my husband said, you know, start making something. You're gonna make a blanket, what are you gonna do? And I said, well, I want something that is theirs, either, you know, a blue for a boy or pink for a girl. And so we actually decided to create that into our gender reveal. So what we did is, I was, I think, 14 to 16 weeks. I don't remember exactly what I was, but we went to a ultrasound place and had them do a gender reveal, and the technician ended up writing what it was on a card and sealed that up for me. And then we went down to our local yarn store. If you're in the Sacramento area, we went to Babetta's Yarn and Gifts. Absolutely great store, huge selection of different brands and colorways, so check her out. She's actually online too, but went down to her to her store, told her what we wanted her to do, and she loved the idea. She was so happy to be involved in it. So what we did is we gave her the card, and my husband and I walked around and we found same price, so we made sure it was the exact same brand, same price yarn, either blue for a boy, pink for a girl, and we brought up what we needed to both, you know, up to the counter, and we walked away, and she bagged everything up, and we actually brought a big wooden box, kind of like a toy chest for her. So she put the right yarn for the gender inside, and then put the other one underneath the counter so we couldn't see it, but rang us up. We just paid for it. I sealed the box up with some baby ribbon, and then we were going to open that up in front of our family and friends later on in a couple weeks. So she was so excited to be a part of it, and opened it up, and I got this absolute beautiful blue yarn, and so I knew I was having a little boy. So I knit him this blanket, and I made it quite small. I didn't want a huge like crib blanket because I knew he was already going to get a lot of that stuff. I wanted something that was more of like a snuggle blanket so that he could carry it around with him if he wants. And he mostly snuggles with it in crib, but you know, it works. So it's a small size, probably about 2 feet by 3 feet. It's not big, but it's super wash, so it's acrylic yarn, so I can actually throw it in the wash with his normal bedding, which is something I really wanted. So this is Cascade satin, Cascade yarn satin worsted weight, and I think it was like maybe $7 or $8 per skein, and this blanket took about 2.5 skeins total. And the pattern is called Pine Forest Baby Blanket, and it's a beautiful, beautiful, I'm hoping I can hold it up to you guys as you can see, beautiful lace pattern. And the only change I made to it was around the border is supposed to be garter stitch, and I wanted to try the seed stitch because my knitting instructor had a cardigan she had made of the seed stitch. I'd never done it before, and I wanted to try it. So I did make that adjustment on the edges, and I thought it looked cute. But other than that, I stuck to the pattern. But just thought I'd share that with you guys, this beautiful story along with the blanket. Thought it was fun. I loved it. And, you know, I was really happy my husband, it was actually his idea. He's so supportive of it that, you know, he was like, well, let's have you find out the gender with some yarn. And so, you know, have some fun with your yarn shopping. If you got some fun happening like that, having a baby, you know, gender reveal. I know that's kind of a newer thing as technology with ultrasounds and things like that happen, but there's always that option. Another finished project, where did I put it? Where did I put it? Well, poop. I just had it. Seriously, like, I don't have that big of a living room. Where did I put it? So I totally walked around my whole entire house and it was right behind me. But I'm back. So I finished my tubularity. So sometimes you have to admit your faults and you have to own up to them. And I find this now as, I'm going to call this a design feature. So the pattern, I didn't read all the way through until the end, or I didn't at least pay attention to the numbers. I was just like, yeah, I've got colors, let me knit them. So this portion here is supposed to be about 6 inches. This is about 12. So I basically have about double the amount of yarn that I'm supposed to have. So this is a really long tubularity, but I still love it. I think it's an amazing pattern, and I'm looking forward to wearing this when, you know, California actually gets a winter. But starts on one end here, goes all the way through, and I've got 3 little buttons on the top here that I just got from Babetta's, just some cute little silver ones. And if you remember, this is from Mosaic Moon, the yarn, and it's her deconstructed set. So this right here is the variegated is the colorway, and then all the other colors are semi-solids of colors that are in the variegated. That's one thing I'm not good at yet, is really deciding what colors go good together. So if I see a skein that I really like, I have trouble putting another skein with it unless it's like black or, you know, white, to say like, oh, you know, this is good, this is good. So this was great for me. I needed 7 colors. It pretty much came in like a kit side for me, but overall, love the pattern. I really suck at blocking. So if you guys have any like tips or some great videos on how to block, I would love that, because I feel like I didn't block this well enough to really show a lot of the stitch definition, or there's a cute increase on each end, and I guess you're supposed to be able to open it up and like really see the pattern, and I can't, like, I don't know. So I mean, help if you have any. But how I plan to really wear this the most is probably, since the buttons are on one side, the other side has a cute little buttonhole. So I'll probably wrap this around and have my button, and then, you know, button it up like that, just because it is so long. But like I said, I still love it. I'm super excited. I finally got it finished. It's been 2 years on the needles, and it's so soft, and I'm really excited about it. So yay, finished project. Let's do an update on my next project, which is the Brighton. So this one, I'm almost done. I think I've got maybe like 2 or 3 more repeats. I'm totally in the middle of a row here. How terrible is that? But I'm still using my needles. These are the Artisan Lake needles, so they're the hexagon, so 5 sides, and then this is a fixed circular, but it rotates on the needles. I still love it. It's been awesome to knit with, so they're really, really solid needle. I'm totally loving it. But last time I think I was like right here. So I'm almost done. This one is what I'm really asking for the blocking help with, because the pattern says you need to block it really well to get the stitch definition in this star pattern. And so if I could get some, help with that, I would love to hear you guys' thoughts on blocking. I've got blocking mats, and I've got, just normal needles. Maybe I need to get something different. I don't know, let me know. Because, like, so far, I mean, this is stretchy, and I don't want to lose any of that, and I really want to show off the yarn and the pattern with this. So, anything you give me. But, yeah, so, I mean, isn't it pretty? Look how pretty it is. I love it. So I've got that one, so I've, like I said, almost done, I think. And then it's still in my little skein, the big wool bag, which I got stuck on here, which is my Beauty and the Beast one. So I love that. It's great. I can just grab it and go. What else do I have? Ooh, I can give you guys an update. Ugh. On my husband's squid hat. So remember, this is kind of a stay-at-home project because it does look really dirty. But I'm on, I think I was on like tentacle 2 or 3. I'm on tentacle 4. So I think there's 7 of the small tentacles, then we build up to get the head and the eyeballs. So almost there, but yeah, tentacles. This is the giant squid hat. Because my husband likes squid, I guess. There's that. Oh! And then I joined another of our local yarn stores, Rumpelstiltskin. And they're doing, I guess you can call it a cowl. It's a knit-along for the Crackerjack Scarf. And this is the one that's supposed to be your team. So I think I'm about 2 games behind. But, San Francisco Giants, whoop whoop. So we're not having a very good season. My black and orange are my wins. I'm sorry, yeah, my black and orange are wins, and the gray and white are losses, depending on home or away. And I really wish I had more orange and more black in there. But, I'll work with it. I still got plenty of season left. I dropped all of my yarn. Podcast problems, it's first world right here. But there's some progress on that. This will go throughout the whole season, so you knit it as the game progresses and the season goes. But I'm loving the bag I have it in. So this is a yarn pop bag. I don't know if I talked about these last time. So this is my big one. So this has got 4 skeins of yarn in there, and I absolutely love it. The zipper's great. I love the pattern. It's got a handle for me to carry it around, so it's almost like kind of like a a tote bag. It's called the toteable bag. But great fabric. It's nice and stiff, so that's a bigger bag. It's not going to be folding over or anything. So Yarn Pop, check those out. Those are really good. Now my next project. I'm a little sad. I cast it on today, and if you do follow me on Instagram, you will see the smallest of photos of it. I was excited to get it cast on, and because the whole point of this podcast was to get me to branch out. Let me see what was out there in the knitting community and to just let myself explore. Well, I explored, and it did not go over well. I was so excited to get started on some socks that I just cast on. I grabbed a skein, grabbed a bag, needles, was at work during lunch and was like, yeah, socks cast on! Well, I didn't pay attention to the fact that my skein was in skein form and it wasn't balled up, and I don't do well with that. So my plan was I'll just cast on a little bit, maybe like a row, and then come home and I'll wind it up on my winder. But I didn't put the skein back together very well, so even just in my bag it went. So I had to rip it out, and this is one of those times where you admit your defeat and you admit your shortcomings. My shortcoming apparently is patience and knowing when to just wait. So I'm hoping I'm not the only person this has ever happened to, And please know, this has nothing to do with the yarn. The yarn is absolutely gorgeous. I'm so excited to get it fixed and back onto my needles in ball form, because I have this lovely barf. There's no going back. I gotta take a couple hours and de-knit, deball that. So I'm super excited, but I'm super sad. I got my cast on of my little toe. It was like big. It was like 12 stitches. I was about to start some increases to start going. I was just gonna do a vanilla sock, but that's what I'm working right now. But it was in this adorable yarn pop bag. Perfect size for just one skein project, some socks. That's what I was working with. But yeah, so pray for me. Send me good vibes to get this fixed as quickly as possible so I can get back onto that track. So that's really all I have that I'm working on right now. I've got some secret knitting I can't really show, but I can show you my needles that you guys have requested. So first off, this binder I don't believe is available for a sale, at least in the United States. I have seen the binder on sale on the Knit Picks European site. So take a look. I don't know if you can ship it to the United States. I really don't know. I was given this when I bought the set from just a nice lady that was selling it on Craigslist. So I don't know if she got them originally in the United States or if they're from Europe. No idea. But so Knit Picks. This is a cute little binder they come in. They sell all kinds. They sell DPNs, so double point needles. They sell crochet hooks. They sell everything. But one of the biggest things that I buy from them is their interchangeable needle set. So instead of buying, you know, a size 6 needle 16 inch and a size 6 needle 32 inch, oh, and I need a 6 inch or a size 6 20 inch and a 40, interchangeable. You have it all together basically. Some people do not like interchangeable. I enjoy them because I can literally take this with me, and I've got almost every single needle size besides like my sock sizes with me at all times. So I really like it. But they have different types of needles. So they've got wood, they've got acrylic, they've got metal, they have different shapes, different colors. So check them out. They do have sample sets where you can get, you know, 3 different sizes with different materials, being wood, metal, or acrylic, just to test what you like, because each type of material is going to react to each different type of yarn. So, you know, acrylic may slide really well with wood needles versus mohair yarn may do better with acrylic or metal. I don't know, it really depends. So someone did ask me, you know, what do I prefer, wood, acrylic, whatever. I prefer metal myself, depending, of course, on the project. Some projects I really want that extra grip of wood, and some I really like the extra flexibility of the acrylic. So it really just depends on my mood, if I want to color coordinate my my needles and things like that. So one thing that's changed with Knit Picks this year, I guess maybe even that last year, I don't know, but they actually have color-coded cables, which is great. So like, you know, all the yellows are one size and the reds are another size. Mine didn't have that. Mine are all purple. But if I do have any replacements coming, or I purchase any, they would be the color coordinated. So for my kit, I opened it up, and they've got these individual little sleeves here. So on the front is a big pack sleeve. I'm gonna try to show this. And in here it's just kind of a zippered pouch, and I keep, there's little stoppers, so you can actually use the cables as stitch holders. So you can put your, you know, if you have to move some things off of your needles, you can keep it on the cable and then just put these little stoppers on each end, and that way you don't have to worry about losing any of your stitches. So they're just little flat disc with a little, I don't know if you can tell, but it's a little screw part that you can screw the cable into, and it'll keep it on there. So come with those, and then if you put projects in timeout, or you're not going to remember what size needle you did have on them, they actually have these little discs. So on one side it'll say, you know, this is a 5.50 millimeter, and you can actually slide this on the cable, take the needle off, do something else with it, and then when you want to come back, oh, I don't remember what needle size I was knitting this on, you'll actually have your tag. So actually cool. I don't use them, at least not right now. But there's that main pocket, and then there's individual pockets for all of your needles. So this is a 3 pocket, so on top, I know these are my 4s, 5s, 6s, 7, 8s, 9s, 10, 10 and a half, and then I do have 11, and then an extra one here, and then another big pocket. And then in the front here, there's a little zipper pocket right here, which I keep some stitch markers that I made, and then one of the little keys. So to tighten these on, you need a little key, which is basically just a little metal stick key. You tighten the cable on so that way, you know, it doesn't loosen up. But then I've got all my cables in here, and so like I said, my cables are not color coordinated, and I had quite a bit of them between ones that I had purchased as well as this woman had given me or sold to me. So what I did is I put them in sizes, I round them up, and then I put just a tiny little binder clip on them, and then on the binder clip I wrote what it was. So this is a 38 or a 47. So what that means is, depending on what size needle I put on, and I'll explain that in a second, this can either be a 38 inch or a 47 inch. So one thing I liked about Knit Picks that a lot of other interchangeables didn't have at the time, I believe some other ones have made it now, is that they had a special 16-inch option. So let me give you an example. So normal interchangeable needle, I believe this is 4.5 inches. And it fits fine, so your cable would go here. Here's your point that you're knitting with, and your cable would be attached here. It fits in my hand pretty nice, but without having an itty bitty little cable, if you have 4.5 inches on this side and you've got 4.5 inches on the other, 4.5, 4.5, that's 9 inches, and you need a 16-inch cable, it's going to be really tight. And so what they did is they actually took off 1/2 inch. So now I've got this little tiny one that's 4 inches, so it's a little smaller, but remember, you still have your cable here. 4 inches on each side, so that's 8 inches, and then my cable is another 8 inches. So it's easier to do your 16-inch hats and things like that. So I really liked that option, and so on my needles, that's why I wrote the 38 and the 47, is that on the small sizes it would be a 38, but on my larger size it would be a 47. It's just something I wanted to know, just to, you know, be OCD about it, I guess. But that was just my preference. But so I do like that option. So like here, this is just the standard 16, their special 16, and actually all of the wood came in different colors. So this is the US 10, so it's kind of a nice, I don't know, like mapley color. But the US, the US 7 is black. So I like the multicolorness of it, so that way you can actually tell, hey, these two don't go together, because you can tell by their color. Most of their sets are that way, which is kind of nice, but they do have ones that are all one color. So that would be the wood. You saw that. This is obviously the metal. It's just like a nickel plate, which is nice. It's really nice and smooth. What else do I have? Oh, then they have some fun ones. So they've got a couple different, in their wood, they have different, I guess you would call them variations. So I think this one's called Casper. I'm not really sure on that, so, you know, don't quote me on it. But this one's like a really pretty, and all their colors, or all their size of this Casper is the same color. It's a gorgeous like green. So it's really pretty. And then, I don't remember what this one's called, but this one's like a multicolored, so it's got like some blue, some teal, some orange, some red in there. And then I did just purchase, I have them in my Crackerjack. I do have one set of their acrylic. It's just just because it's awesome and bright and gorgeous. It's, you know, acrylic. These are US 8s. And this is kind of like a marbled orange and pink color to it. But yeah, so they screw on really easily. I said I've got different cable lengths. But I really do enjoy them. And if you notice, so this is a size, I think, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8s. My size 8s in the center here, you can see, I have got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, so 5, that's an 8, 6 different sizes, or sets. So I mean, that was the one that I use the most, is size 8s, so I mean, I throw them on everything. But that was the beauty, is that I could buy a needle tip, which is I think $8 maybe, and I have a whole nother row or a whole nother, you know, variation of that size, because I've got it in a 16, a 20, a 24, you know, I've got all the different sizes. And what I really like about the cables is that if I have a 16 and a 20, but I don't have a 32, I can actually use a connector and connect them two together, and just, you know, make a long variation that way. Magic Loop is great with it. So I really enjoy my knit picks. They are great customer service. I have had cables. I will let you know that the cable has popped off of the metal piece. Let me show you. So yeah, this is one of the little 16 inches, little bitty, tiny thing. So, and actually this is kind of doing it right now. So it's got a little bit of a gap, and that would really suck when I'm knitting, because I've got your product. This is, you know, this is happening. What can you guys, you know, suggest or whatever? And they're really good about contacting you and either letting you know where you can purchase one, or I've actually had them send me some replacement ones. They have lifetime warranty on them, so they're like, here, you know, our bad. A friend of mine actually just had this screw part pop right off, and so she's contacting them. More than likely they'll send her new ones. So they really take pride in their product, and it's a great product. I absolutely love them. So I definitely suggest them. People have asked if I suggest them for new knitters. Absolutely, because there has that flexibility, and like I said, they do have sample kits. So if you're not sure if you want to spend, you know, $50 or $60 on a whole set, and you don't know if you want metal, wood, or acrylic, they sell sample sets, which just has one of each, and you just play around with them, you know, grab some yarn and swatch around and see what you like. So I highly recommend those. Take a look at them. They're amazing. I can't, you know, talk highly enough about them. But yeah, I think that's all I have for this episode. Thank you again for joining me. I'm so sorry it took so long to get this to you. You know, life happens, but knitting does happen too during that time. So I was glad I was able to show you guys some of my finished projects and what I've been working on. I hope by next time my yarn barf is non-barfed. Pray for me, like I said, and I look forward to hearing from you guys. Let me know what you think. If you want to see anything different, if you want to see how I you know, cast on certain things, how I'm casting on my socks, how I store my yarn, I'd love to show you any of that type of stuff. Just comment below and let me know what you think. Thanks guys, see you next time. Bye.
So close. Gotta be patient.
That's what got me in this situation. Oh, it is all just little loops now. Okay, here we go. Let's see. Is it done? And we just need to. Nope, I just made it worse. Should get for letting me finish it. It's all the fuzzies. Alright. Ready? Think that. And then it's literally held together by a piece of fuzz. I break the fuzz. fuzz somehow. Some fuzz and a knot. Oh we got. Alright, there's the fuzz. I think. Yay!
Yay!
Thank you. Team effort. Done. Balls.